Welcome back. So today I have a one of my white whales. This is the Nintendo Virtual Boy. It was Nintendo's first foray into 3D gaming back in like 1995. Kind of like the 3DS, it produces a stereoscopic 3D image to the user without the need for 3D glasses and such. I can explain more how this works once I get it apart because it needs some fixing. And I'll go a little bit more into the technical analysis then, but for now, I have one. I bought this off of eBay for about $150. Came with everything I needed. Thankfully, it came with the headset, a controller, Mario's Tennis for a game, a wall adapter, and then a cheap third-party universal power supply, along with the stand. The stand is also a little broken. It's cracked right here. So when I try to open it up, it extends farther past where it needs to be, and the whole thing can't really support itself. I think it's going to be an easy fix. There's some screws in the back that I'll take off. The legs should pop out. I'm assuming. I haven't done this yet. Take those out, and then I'm probably going to use some contact cement to patch this crack up. I could use super glue. But I think contact cement might work a little better on it. So we're going to try that. But I'll do that off camera or so because it's a small fix. And if it goes catastrophically wrong, then I'll let you know. But for now, the actual console needs fixing. I booted it up, and according to the eBay listing, it's accurate. It works fine. There's speakers, but the displays don't work. I'll go into how they work a little bit once it's apart. But their sound, it reads the game. I'm assuming the controller works, but the displays just don't work. It's a fairly common issue with these things, and I think I know what the issue is. If that's, the common cause. If the common cause is what is the issue, then I think I know what's wrong with it, and we have a way of fixing it. But yeah, we're gonna take this apart, try and fix it, give it a good clean, and then if it works, then we'll be all set. And it's just another thing from my collection at the moment. It didn't come with an eye shade, but that's okay. I think you don't need it, but I can't find any online for less than about $80 US, which is quite a lot. So for now, it's not 100% complete. I've never owned one. I've never seen one of these things before in person, so I'm kind of new to all of what's inside of here. I've got an iFixit guide pulled up on my computer in front of me. I'm going to use that to assist in taking it apart to get to the part that I think is broken. So I'm not really coming up with this, but you can follow along with what I'm doing. I'm just going to read off the guide. So to start, there are, how many screws are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do I need to take apart? I think these 4 are the base that need to come off. Let's try that. Let's take off these 4 game bit screws, or maybe 6. There's 6 here. Oh, that was just a plastic shroud. Okay, so to no one's surprise but my own, I don't have a screwdriver to take this apart with. I have the correct bit. I have the game bit to take the screws out, but I don't have a screwdriver with a thin enough neck to fit through the screw holes. So like the bit will fit just fine, but I can't reach it because they're down there. I can only get 2 out of these 6 screws that are here. So I'm gonna order one, and we'll be back whenever that arrives. That's a bummer. All right. Okay, I'm back. I've got my screwdriver that we're gonna use. Before we do that, let me just show you something real quick that I did while I was waiting for this to arrive. A few things. The stand, I pointed out before, the medallion piece thing on it was cracked. I said I would try and use some contact cement for it instead of super glue. I wound up using both. It doesn't really work really well. And part of that is just, is it a camera angle? Yeah. With where the crack is, as the force of the legs gets put on it, it's too much. All the leverage on it is it's gonna keep cracking. So I couldn't really find any OEM replacements. So I 3D printed one from a file in Thingiverse. It works. Really hard to tighten. I think I might actually just reprint it and pre-drill the holes for the screws. It might help. But it works. It sits fine. It doesn't wobble like that one did. And it's a little loose, I think, just because it's not, perfect fit. But it's really, really close. So that was the fix on that. I also 3D printed out, this is the eye shade holder. Basically, I don't have it because it didn't come with it, but you have the eye lens thing that covers your face, similar to the part of the VR headsets like a Vive or a Quest or a Rift that, cover your eyes. This should just sit like so. I haven't tried putting it on yet. I need to sand it a little bit, but it'll be one of the last things that go on. And additionally, I also printed off these 2 clips. I'll show these more once the actual thing is apart, but these are going to help once we fix it, if what I still think is wrong is its cause. So let's get back to it. I'll link the screwdriver, all these 3D files that I used in the description, so in case you need them at some point, you have them. Screwdriver, super nice. Basically, it's just another game bit, and then it fits unlike my iFixit one. So the stand latch is off with all these screws. We have 6 left to take out. I'll speed through that, and then we can take a closer look inside, and I'm just following the iFixit guide. While I'm on the bottom here, I'm just going to show you what's here. So I'm not a Virtual Boy expert by any means, but we have a volume wheel for built-in speakers, headphone jack, surprisingly enough, an extension port that I don't think was ever used. I'm not too sure on the history, but I know you can get like homebrew games that use this, or Mario's Tennis technically supports it, but it doesn't use it because they didn't enable multiplayer in the game. So, and then the controller port, and this is where also power comes in from the controller. But now all the screws are off, so let's crack this open. It should, according to the guide, just come out. There you go. A little leveraging to get it, but that worked. If the let me know if this new camera angle works well for all of you. I'm trying to get a good thing on my desk. I don't have an overhead jig, so my phone that I use as a camera is now propped up on the tripod behind my monitor. Just trying something new. That way it's not in front of me and in my way. Something that iFixit notes that I kind of agree with is that the whole thing is pretty modular. I mean, the speakers just came out on their own. The controller board and everything here came out on its own. It looks like it's easily replaceable. And honestly, if you needed to, you could probably build your own. There's no chip on it. Some rubber gaskets around it. Okay, there we go. And then it lines up on the top for its IPD adjustment. Let's put this up to the side. Hey, buddy. You come in at the end. Trying not to get dust on all this, but let me describe how this kind of works, at least from what I understand. We have your displays are in here. They're in these black boxes. And then here you have oscillating mirrors. I'm not going to touch them a lot, but they move back and forth very rapidly to the point that you can kind of hear them when the system is on. And the displays themselves are actually just LED diodes that run at, I think it's 224 by 1 pixel. I might have that axis off, but it is definitely by 1. It's basically just a line of pixels. And my understanding is that I'll take one of these off and show you, actually, because I think I All right, so here, this is the display. You have your red LED diode, and like I said, it's literally by 1 pixel. It's super thin, and it would draw the image constantly. And then with this mixed with the oscillating mirror would produce the image per eye to give you the image, and then both eyes combined being slightly offset gives you the 3D stereoscopic effect. So what the main problem is with these is that what most tend to suffer from is that the ribbon cable, it's a good angle, the ribbon cable is not soldered onto this board, it's glued. And what would happen is over time, I mean, it's been 10, 15, yeah, it's been almost 26 years roughly. The glue comes off, meaning that the contacts don't make, the pins on the ribbon cable don't make contact with the board. And that just leads to no image. So there are a few things people have done to fix this. Some involve sticking these in the oven. I'm not going to do that. I haven't had luck with that stuff in the past. The other is soldering it, and that's what I'm going to attempt. And what you would do with that is you essentially kind of burn away the outside coating on this cable, and it basically you line it up with, line up with the traces on here, and you basically solder the whole thing together. It's a much more permanent fix, and it gives you much more stronger connection. So that's what we're going to try. I also noticed on this cable, at least there's a kink going through at least one of the traces. I don't know if you can see that very well. Kind of. So I'm concerned that this one's actually damaged. But let's see if I can find a pin out. Maybe it's just a grounding line and it won't really matter. Let's take off the other one and see if there's any issues on that. So the one on the left doesn't have that kink in it. I think that one will be okay. We're probably gonna actually start with that one. We'll put the left one off to the side for now. I'm gonna review my reference video that I'm using on this because I honestly have no idea I know what I'm doing. I've never done anything like this, and I'm scared too. There are no replacements for this that I could find. I did a quick search. If they're there, they're probably way more than what I paid for this thing. So I'm gonna be as careful as I absolutely can, and taking my time with it. So if you see a lot of cuts, that's just because I need to focus. Also take this as a disclaimer. This is not a guide. This is me just filming what I'm doing. So I'll link the videos I use in the description. Don't use me as a reference for fixing this. Okay, so I forget. Hold on, I'm zooming in. All right, so it's a little easier to see. This is what it looks like after I don't know, 25-ish minutes, 25 minutes of soldering. Basically, if you saw, what I did was you tin the board part where the traces are, and you kind of float upward with the solder to get it under the cable and melt away some of the plastic, and then bring it back down. And that, so the pin, a lot happened. You tin the bottom, float up, gets it under the plastic and under the wire, flow back down as it tins, and that connects the solder underneath the pins with the traces on the board, and also securing it all back in place. So a little not pretty looking, but looking at it, I mean, everything is connected. No pins are bent, broken off, or stuck under another one. Everything is connected and soldered together, and it looks like some things are joined together, but there are two big traces that I think are grounding pins, so they're okay. But I'm gonna stick it back in, and we'll see what happens when I try to power it on with a game in it. Before I throw all this back together, this is actually a good time to show you what this clip I printed is for. Basically, what some people would do as opposed to soldering it, they would just pressure it down even more. So instead of soldering it, they would take a clip like this, it would latch into the side here, and then they would screw it back in, and then the extra pressure would keep all of it in place. So I'm also going to do that just to have that kind of peace of mind. But it really shouldn't be necessary with the solder job. In fact, I don't even think it works. It won't clip. Well, hey, like I said, it's not really needed if you're doing the solder fix, so we're actually just gonna not do that. Nothing gained, nothing lost. So this power setup is a little weird, in my opinion. So you plug, doesn't matter really in the order, I guess. You plug in the controller. The controller then houses the power. So in this case, I don't have a battery pack. I have this wall adapter that the seller gave me. That then slides onto the controller like so, and there are metal prongs that make contact. This is missing the back, but that's okay. And then you have a wall adapter that plugs into the controller. And you'd have batteries if you had that. And then the controller has the power switch. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Nope, wait. I need a game. The only game I own. Like so, we turn it on. And now I'm not getting any power. Let me plug everything in. I wouldn't be terribly surprised. There you go. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if the way that this was assembled was that everything needs to be plugged in order to make contact. And if anything needs to be in like the right spot too. So now let's plug everything back in. Hey, we have... Hold on, wait. So you can see the mirrors flickering. But if I turn off the light... See? Look at that. Hey, we've got video, right? Oh man, sorry, I'm trying to do this with the camera and look at it. Oh, that's cool. Okay. And the other one is still broken. All right. Does the controller actually work? Ooh, the controller works. Oh, okay, that's cool. Cool. And the sound should still work. Oh, that is so cool. And the image is really clear. Like really clear. Okay. We're halfway done. And now we know that the whole thing, well, we could diagnose what needs to go together. I won't, because I don't see the point in doing that, but we know that pretty much the whole thing needs to be together for it to turn on. And we're halfway done. Oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, let me take this apart again. We're gonna take off, I actually don't even really need to take it apart. I just need to unscrew this. Let me take out the right lens, and then we can get started on repairing that one and then put it together, and we should be done. Okay, so now this one is done. I did this one in honestly probably under 5 minutes. Zoomed in does not look great, but that's okay. So yeah, I did this one in about under 5 minutes now that I knew what I was doing. And yeah, I'm gonna stick it back in. This is the one with the kink in it. I'm a little worried about that. But we will see if it has any effect on it. I couldn't really find a pinout, but let's see. It looks like the first 2 traces are the ones that are actually affected. So no, I was not able to find a pinout for this. So I don't know what these 3 traces are. I could use a multimeter, trace them back through everything, but it's not really worth it because if they're damaged, that doesn't help me. I'm gonna plug it back in. We're gonna see if it works. Plug in power, turn it on. It is worse now. So the right lens now kind of lights up. The left one now no longer has picture. It's kind of just bright. Might just be a bad cartridge seat. Let me try it again. No. Okay. With the right one unplugged, the left one works again. So maybe the right one needs... I'll double check its soldering. I'm really hoping that it's not actually a faulty cable. Hey, it's working. It's arguably dimmer than the right one. It could also just be the distance. Okay. Here. It's working. I'm gonna turn it back on just to be sure. Okay. It is working. A little blurry than the left lens. I'm just gonna... Okay, so it doesn't flicker, but it's not like perfectly clean. I don't really know how to describe it. Like honestly, if I wasn't like keen at looking at it, I honestly probably would have never even noticed that it's like slightly different. But it's working. I'm not entirely sure what happened or what changed. Right, so I'm not entirely sure what changed, but it's working. So I don't want to touch it anymore. I'm gonna take the card out, and now I just need to put everything back in, which is pretty much just the speakers and making sure wires are routed properly. I'm gonna do that, and we'll give the outside a clean. And then yeah, I think I'll be happy with it. So we have our stand, which goes like that. Take our game, stands in the way now, down like that. We have our controller. plug in the controller. I'll turn it on now. And we'll do this. Once I get the power switch to work. Okay. Volume wheel still works. So you can see, turn the light off. All right. There's the left lens and the right lens. So they are both working now, and it's super exciting. It's unfortunately not really something that I really know how to... No, it's backwards. Of course it's backwards. It's so weird. Like so. Good question. Maybe I honestly have it on backwards. Yeah, so it's supposed... These should be facing you. Be facing this way. Okay, so then why is it not forward properly? I think I have this on backwards. I think I put the stand back together backwards. But hey, that's okay. I can't really demo this to you anyways. I'm sorry I can't really show it to you. I don't really know how. Holy crap. That was probably one of the hardest repairs I think I've ever done. And it worked. It turned out really well. Yeah, I don't really know what else to do, so I'm probably just gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching this one. This has been super hard, super weird. Leave a comment if you've got any questions. I'll do what I can to answer them. I'm not big virtual boy, but I mean, I'll learn. I like it, or obviously wanted it, so yeah, hit me up with any comments or questions. If you are a virtual boy repairman, I'd love to hear if you know why this wasn't working. Obviously, it might have been just a loose connection or something, but I don't know, maybe there's something deeper that I didn't know and I just got lucky. So, yeah, ask questions if you want, and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys for when we take this stuff apart to improve its power connection. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.